Shabbos ay, 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 shalom, malachei shalom, malachei Elohim, malachei Elohim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbos. In this week's Torah portion, Parshas Mishpatim, we read about the opportunities that man has to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There are 613 opportunities. Some people view them as 613 laws. The Holy Svarim HaKadoshim teach us that they're to be viewed as 613 opportunities to connect to Hashem. Last week's Torah portion was Yisro when we received the Ten Commandments. This week's Torah portion, we actually get them in depth and in detail. These two parshas are really one. It all began with Moshe meeting Yisro. And that can give us a guiding headline to how we must see our daily activity as a Jewish Yid. The great Kotzker Rebbe was approached by one of his top disciples and he said, Rebbe, where can I find God? Wherever one lets him in, responded the Kotzker Rebbe. Furthermore, the Kotzker Rebbe would say that if one cannot find God in every place, then one cannot find God in any place. For HaKadosh Baruch Hu fills the entire world, and our job is to seek Him out. And this week we're going to learn about all the opportunities and how to do so. This double Torah portion of the Ten Commandments and then all of the 613 opportunities together are really one. It begins with Moshe meeting Yisro. And we understand that they came from such distant places. This is Moshe Rabbeinu, the great leader of the Jewish people. And Yisro had served every idol under the sun and was completely unaffiliated and disconnected. Nonetheless, at the time that Moshe came to greet him, he had not even converted yet. V'afal pikein korim ish v're'ehu. Nonetheless, Moses calls him a man and a close friend. Kikach darko shel tzadikim hagavoa ma'od. This is the way of great righteous people. Shehu morides atzmai, they lower themselves. Umekareves atzmo, kol kach u'mishi yesh lo ezer ratzon lahaskar v'la'emes. And they make themselves connected and approachable to anybody that wants to come close to the truth. That anybody is seeking for a better way in life. Ki'ilu haya chaverim mamash, ki'ilu im yishrei, as if they were actually close friends. And as we're all looking to connect and further our relationships, and ultimately we're going to reach out to our friends and family around us, it's our opportunity to follow the ways of Moshe, to bring it down and to connect and relate to everybody around us, whether they're Jewish, whether they're not Jewish. We have family, we have friends who like to meet all over the world. There's a way that a Yid lives, someone who is preparing to connect to these opportunities, to live a more enriched life through Torah and Judaism, begins by understanding how to relate to the entire world. That's the first rule that we see. At the end of the Parsha in Kiseitze, when the Amalek nation is coming to stop the Jewish people from proceeding and moving forward, they come to wage war. It says that they cooled them off on the way, which we've spoken about. We'll get into in a later shmooze. And then it says that they were weak and faint and exhausted, and they were not able to fear God. We understand that the word yirah also means to see. The Baal Shem Tov explains that when one is faint and weak, he's not able to serve God properly. Sometimes people go through certain fastings or different ways of connecting to Him. The Baal Shem Tov once walked into the Beis Medrash and he saw everyone sitting in a little bit of a down mood. And he said to them that not only is it a mitzvah to be happy, but if one lives within sadness, he might be transgressing the very avera of heresy. For if he does not believe that God is actually running each and every moment, then he does not believe that He's there present with him. and God only wants good for us. Reb Chatzkel Shinover, the eldest son of Reb Chaim Sanzer, he learned by Reb Naftali Ravshitz. And his dream in life was to meet one of the 36 hidden tzaddikim. We know in every generation there are 36 hidden tzaddikim, as well as 36 hours of light that Hashem saved for the end of days. Those are the 36 candles that we light on Hanukkah. So, this Reb Chatzkel Shinover traveled all the way to Israel, where he was hoping to find one of these great tzaddikim and speak to them. He traveled around over his 2-week stay. You can imagine what it was, type of a journey, going to the south, going up to the north. There was no trains, there was no cars, there was a horse and wagon. So finally, at the end of his trip, the last part of his trip, he heads up to Tzfas the last Sunday. And as he goes up early to the Arizal's mikvah, it's about 3:45 in the morning, he's getting ready for sunrise. He sees coming out of the mikvah one of these Lamav tzaddikim. He sees this holy light. So he calls after him, Reb Yid, he wants to speak to him, he wants to say something. He gets dressed fast, he's on his way. So Reb Chatzkel Shinover runs after him, runs out of the mikvah, and he says, Rebbe, can I speak? Can I ask you a question? So this Yid stops and he turns around and he says, who are you? The tzaddik says, I can't tell you. And he kept on his way. The whole trip home, Reb Chatzkel Shinover was thinking about this opportunity, this lost opportunity. He met this tzaddik, he wasn't able to speak to him, he was so broken. Finally, he came home to his father, Reb Chaim Sanzer. He walked into the office, and Reb Chaim Sanzer said to him, he says, no, how was it? He said, it was unbelievable. He says, but you look a little down about something. He says, at the end of the trip, I was in Tzfas, and I was going to the Arizal's mikvah, and there I saw a great tzaddik. He says, and what happened? He says, I ran after him, and I called him, and he says, yeah? He said, he stopped, and he says, so what'd you say? He says, I asked him who he was, and he said he couldn't tell me, and he kept on going. Chaim says, oy, you should have said, bless me. When it comes time for Shabbos, as we get ready for Shabbos and Parshas Mishpatim, we want Shabbos to bless us. We want all of the opportunities that we're going to learn about, connecting to Hashem to bless us. We want Hashem to bless us. We should have everyone in our family bless us. We should be blessed by the holy day of Shabbos.